It is day 2 of the Woo Woo at Work Challenge, and I am so excited to be here to share with you some real world examples today of how some of these holistic strategies can directly influence your performance at work. Now, I got some feedback yesterday of some specific things, and of course, I've been doing what I do for many years, so I have lots of case studies and examples and client work and specific scenarios where these types of strategies that we're talking about have actually worked for people. But one of them that I really liked to hear, because it was such a broad example, is it came from a guy that we'll call Joe because we're going to still keep things confidential. You don't want things to get back to companies where someone might work. And we'll call him Joe. And he's a sales team leader. And I was in corporate America for 15 years, and I did sales and marketing and product research and trend development and analysis and corporate espionage, as I talked about yesterday. So I understand the dynamics of how teams work cross-functionally when you're interacting with customers and clients, when you're interacting with vendors. I had luckily a really broad and diverse career that allowed me to experience many different roles and types of interactions that I might experience. So hearing about his situation was really powerful because it included so many different layers that could potentially be impacted by some of these holistic woo at work strategies. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through specific ways that he could improve his situation, his role, his impact as this sales team leader, going into sales calls, into presentations, into meetings, and also being a role model for his team, thinking about his company's growth, thinking about his own income. When you're a sales guy or a sales chick, you got money coming in and you want to make money, even when you're not in sales, you want to make money. So we want to think about the personal aspects and elements of that as well. Okay, so yesterday I asked you to think about what some of the reasons would be why you wouldn't potentially use some of these things. And hopefully that got you thinking of like, okay, maybe I do need to open my mind a little bit. And today, when I'm talking to you about Joe's situation, and I give you the specific ways that he could potentially impact that and improve his situation, you'll be able to kind of apply that to your own situation and think, oh yeah, I could try some of these things. Now keep in mind, we could be on here, I have hundreds of tips for situations like this. We could be on here for days. I don't want to keep you on here for days. Like, you still have a job to do, right? So today I'm going to give you several specific examples around Joe's situation so that you can see the diverse application of types of things that I'm talking about and kind of get a feel for what they might be. We're not going to do the full like money manifestation, 10-minute sit and manifest the money today, because we don't have time to do that. For what I want really today is exposure, getting you open to thinking about, okay, yesterday you said here are potential roadblocks or what you might face, but here are some ways now to open your mind and what that actually means. What does that actually look like? The rest of the week we'll do a little bit more in-depth actually doing things. And today we'll just touch on that, but today is about giving you the broad scope of the types of things that you could even consider as you're starting to open your mind. Okay, so I gave you a little bit of the lay of the land of what we're talking about with Joe. Sales team leader for a pretty big company, multi-million-dollar company, and he's got several sales people that report to him, and he is often going into sales meetings that are pretty high stakes. He sells products it's a service and it's a software type of a package, and it's a pretty high ticket item. So he's not selling widgets for $1, which is cool. I worked in that retail vendor industry for a long time. He's selling a pretty high ticket item. So he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders. It's often make or break for the company, where if he doesn't close a deal, it's, hits their bottom line directly. It hits his income and his commission. It hurts his team's performance overall and what they're bonused on. So he's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders to hit his numbers and really perform well in these sales meetings. He also gets kind of nervous. Even though he's an extrovert and he's able to build relationships and connections, he still gets really nervous and gets some physical symptoms before meetings. And I'm like that too, even though I'm an introvert. I'm not an extrovert, but I still get nervous before I speak. So he's got nerves and some physical symptoms that he wants to deal with before he goes into meetings as well. He also has team members that come with him because he's cross-training new salespeople, and because it's such a high-ticket item, they attack their clients, not attack in a bad way. They go to the meetings as a team so that they can really be a strong presence and really have all the information that they might need at their fingertips to really give the best experience to the customer. And it's a long sale, which means that they don't meet the first time and the customer's like, I'm in. It requires a few meetings to build the relationship. He's doing things, outside of meetings to make sure that he's connecting and, building the rapport and that long-term relationship that's going to eventually lead to the sale, inevitably, hopefully, right? And so there are a lot of applications here that I love because he has to be a leader for his team. He has to build the relationship with the client or prospect. He needs to manage his own internal nerves to keep his own energy and his own engagement in the process and the situation. He needs to have his company in mind because it's a high pressure, high stakes situation every time they are going in to close the deal or build the pipeline to get the deal closed. So I like it because almost every one of us in corporate America, in healthcare, in education, we've had some level of some part of his situation. Whether if you're a teacher, you're a leader of a classroom, so how do you manage your energy? There are many teachers I know that still get nervous, even though their job is daily to go and present to their classes. Like, that's their job. They're speakers, they're teachers, they're motivational speakers like I am. But many teachers I know still get nervous. Like, okay, I gotta, mobilize my energy, and like maybe they get a little butterflies in the stomach, even if they're walking into a kindergarten class. Maybe more so if you're walking into a kindergarten class. So regardless of the role, industry that you work in, these situations that Joe finds himself in are applicable in some way. So now I want to give you some ways that you could look at each part of his situation and use some of the holistic woo-woo at work strategies that can help you be better, feel better, manage your energy, show up more positively, be a stronger role model, communicate more clearly in that entire situation so that you have better chances of success. Not just of closing the deal and getting a check written to you, but of being that role model for the team that's there for you, of feeling better and less nervous when you're walking in, being more confident, being more engaged in the current moment rather than having your mind scatter to other stuff that's going on in your life, so that you've got that presence of mind right now in the meeting, and so that you're fully there and aware of what you need to pull in to make that meeting or that presentation the best that it needs to be. Okay, so let's dig in. I made a big list so that I wouldn't forget anything. Now, when you're going into situations like this, confidence is something that needs to be at its max, right? Because you're walking into a situation where you've got a lot of eyes on you. You've got a lot of pressure, and that can shut down confidence because you get nervous. And there's actually an energy center in your body called the solar plexus. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this with the glare from the camera. There, I think you can see it. Okay, the solar plexus is located right below the rib cage. So you know where your ribs end, right below there is a part right below your rib cage that's about here. This is your endocrine system. And in that area, several organ systems come together. You can see there's a lot of digestion. The liver, the spleen, adrenal glands, pancreas are all in that area. And when you are needing to activate your confidence and really show up strong, you want to get that part of your body really fired up, because the adrenal glands control a lot of stress chemicals and a lot of neurotransmitters in your body. Your gut is the home of many, many neurotransmitters and feel good and feel bad chemicals in your body. And really, your gut is the start of a lot of stuff. And that gut starts in your mouth, but it really, starts here in the stomach and in that area right below your rib cage before going down to your intestinal tract. So you want to be sure that the organs in this area are really functioning well, they're activated, they're open, and that the energy that flows throughout your body doesn't get kinked up and locked up there, so that you get overconfident. Okay? So the first thing I want to share with you that you can do to boost your confidence before these types of high stakes situations, or just when you want your confidence activated, is yoga moves. Now, yoga is a pretty non-scary thing, but a lot of people in the workplace are like, wait, where am I going to do yoga, before I'm going into a meeting? You can do it in your office, you can do it in the car, you can do it in the bathroom, you can do it sitting in your chair, and no one even needs to know. And in this specific case, we want to be activating the muscles, right here under the rib cage. So if you have the space and a location to do this, I'm going to say a word that everyone hates: do a plank. Now, you can't see the floor over here, but most people know what a plank is. You're laying on the floor, and you can be on your elbows, you can be up. It sucks, right? A plank sucks almost every time. But when you do a plank, you are completely activating that area. And when you do that, it uncorks, it unleashes, it unblocks anything that might be stuck there, any nerves, and it gets those organs and systems in that area, boom, activated, confident, boost your confidence right away. Now, if you don't have a place to do a plank, you can do a little back bend. Now, you can do that not while you're driving, but if you're sitting in your car before going into a meeting, just lean back a little bit in your car seat. And not your car seat like your baby car seat, in the seat of your car. And as you lean back, you can feel that stretch right there in those muscles right below your rib cage. So just a simple back bend, you can put your arms up, you can do like cactus arms, and you do that, and that also gives you just a little activation of that area that fires up those organ systems, that helps boost confidence, that helps drive energy. Really powerful way. So that's one simple example of how yoga can help you in a high stakes, important situation where you want to perform at your best. Another thing you can do, where did I put that, is when you are in a nervous, worried type of a situation, just the pressure, the stress, a lot of times when you go into that fight or flight mode, which is what happens with the stress response, is your body's systems go into overdrive, where your heart rate, your blood pressure, your respiration, your perspiration all go through the roof, getting you ready to fight or get away from whatever the stressor is. In caveman days, that was really important. In today's world, it's really important. But because we're activated by little stresses all the time, a lot of times those perceived stresses, they're not really life-threatening, but our body still goes into that state. And when that happens and you activate those systems, our body also shuts down body systems that it doesn't see as critical to that fight or flight response to protect you from a saber-toothed tiger or the client that you're walking into. And that means it shuts down your digestive tract processes, and because that's not needed for fighting or flying. So when your digestive tract shuts down and isn't functioning the right way, it can cause some of those symptoms that happen when you're nervous, when you're stressed, when you're worried, or even when you're excited. That can happen as well, because that's still a little fight or flight response being kicked off. So when that happens, you can get stomach problems, you can get diarrhea, you can get nauseous, you can get just kind of that butterflies in the stomach, but it goes a little too far. And a really powerful way that I found, and it has saved me many times as a speaker who gets really nervous still before I get on stage, and I used to get like almost to the point where I wanted to throw up. I discovered peppermint oil. Now, peppermint oil is really strong, so don't start sucking it down without experimenting with it. Start simply with just taking a sniff of it. Your olfactory scent nerves and system is so powerful at helping to biohack your body, change the way that your body and brain respond. So just a sniff of peppermint gives your body a quick hit of an olfactory process that calms the digestive system. Now, talk to your doctor, because peppermint can interact with some prescription drugs, but I can take this by mouth, and you want to be sure that the peppermint oil that you purchase is food safe, and that it should say that on the bottle somewhere. You want to be sure that it's food safe, that you can ingest it. But I will do a drop or two on the tongue. And if I'm really nervous, I can actually put some in a capsule and swallow it to get it right down to my stomach to keep it calm. And it has literally saved me and given me what I need to show up on stage as my best more times than I go through bottles and bottles of this stuff. So peppermint is really powerful. On the other side of that, scent can be really powerful going into a meeting at helping the client, customer, prospect feel more chill and calm and open and have warm feelings toward you. Now, you know, real estate agents, they'll bake cookies or something in the house before they have a showing. That scent of vanilla and cinnamon are very, very powerful, proven to be powerful to give people warm feelings, feelings of trust. So, you know, you a lot of times can't bring cookies into a meeting. Sometimes you can, but one dab of vanilla, you know, put it on the back of your laptop where, you know, they don't see it. You know, put a dab on your wrist, just one drop, just a slight, not overwhelming, just like an occasional whiff of vanilla as you open your laptop case, you know, is a way to get that client, that prospect, having warm feelings toward you, which opens their mind to buying from you. It all starts with the trust and the openness that opens the pocketbook. So think about a little dab of vanilla, not overwhelming. You're gonna have to kind of experiment, but literally one drop of vanilla oil, some sort of vanilla carrier, super powerful, okay? So those are a couple of scent biohacks that you can use with peppermint or vanilla. There are tons of herbs, and I'm not an herbal supplement expert. I am a supplement expert because I started my happy hour effect company with a supplement that I developed and sold to GNC. A lot of people don't know that story. I'll tell it some other day. But there are lots of herbs and things that can calm you down. So I love this one. It's called Chi Charge. It's got ginseng, ginkgo, ashwagandha, rhodiola, and then brandy and water is the carrier. But it's just a little dropper full, so it's not like I'm taking brandy for a sales call. But those are all proven to calm the stress response. There's adaptogens in there which help you adapt, helps your body adapt when things are bombarding it. So the stress response, it chills it out. If you're kind of have a low mood, it helps regulate that. It helps your body stay in homeostasis, which is your body at its most natural, unactivated, like not stressed, not low, normal functioning state. So look into supplements. Talk to your doctor about those. I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to give you recommendations specifically, but many of these, I take a lot of supplements based on my situation that I need at the time to support gaps in my nutrition, to support gaps in my body, mind, and spirit needs at any given time. So really be open to that as a potential woo-woo at work biohack option as well. Now let's move on to some of the mental, emotional state changes that you can create with internal talk. Now, the first one I want to talk about is you often when you walk into a meeting, you're still carrying junk from the morning or from your childhood. You're still carrying things that kind of cloud being in the moment. Sometimes you're also thinking about the future so much. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to close this deal, or I have this to do after work, or I have a million things going on at home. So you're not truly in the moment of that meeting, and you get distracted, and then you're not there, you're not fully present to give the client, the prospect, or your team members that are there with you everything that you need, they need for you to close that deal eventually, or to build the relationship, or to be showing up as your best. So I love to do just a quick meditation before I have a high stakes meeting, where it allows me to like chill out my brain. That doesn't mean clearing your mind, because remember yesterday I said when I talk about meditation, I do not believe that it is possible to clear your mind. What you want to do is, the more you do meditation, is that as thoughts arise, as you're sitting, as you're breathing, whatever type of meditation you start to gravitate to as you're experimenting, as thoughts arise, their ability to control you and pull you off track becomes minimized over time the more you do it. And that's the goal of meditation, is to not let those thoughts that do arise, inevitably it will every time arise, pull you off track so that you become totally scattered and distracted from being your best in the moment. So before I go into high stakes situations, I love to do a meditation for just a couple minutes where I'm like, okay, let me just get here in the moment. And there's tons of them that you can do. We'll talk more specifically about this later in the week, about types, we'll do some meditations, we'll experiment with the ways that they can impact you. But doing a clarity meditation before a meeting can help get you in the moment, get you focused so that you can walk into that meeting showing up with your mind and your body there to give your best to that meeting, to everyone who's in that meeting. Okay? All right. Let's see. Team visualization. I love this one. A lot of people, they're like, yeah, I can do these things myself, but I'm not going to do something with my team. Like, what would I even do? Team visualization is something that you can do before any type of thing kicks off. So like say you're planning a new product, or you're developing a new ad campaign, or you're creating your 2022 annual plans, or you're doing your 3-month quarterly projections, or you're going into a sales meeting where you need to move this relationship forward with other members of the team. Could be you're all salespeople, you might have cross-functional people in there with you. If you're in education, maybe you've got other teachers where you're doing some project together and you're building something for the school. So there's any type of team unit where you're doing something together. You can do a team visualization where you all get together. You have a little chat about, okay, what do we want the end results to look like? Like ideally, if this sales deal, if this project, if these 2022 goals, if everything turned out exactly how we wanted, what would that look like? So you come up with sort of the ideal, and you don't have to have specifics like it's a 32% increase. It's more the feeling of what the scenario could look like. So like for Joe and his sales team, they need to close this, huge deal with a customer. He and his sales team, before they walk into a meeting, could be like, okay, we need to get them to move on to the next meeting where we're going to present the actual software demonstration. We're going to, they're going to maybe be interested in attending the user conference. I'm using lingo right now, but we're going to, we really want to see them using it, for 70% of their staff. We want, to have them in 6 months have it uploaded onto all of their systems, and that, so you get what the end result is going to be, the benefit for the customer, but also the benefit to you. And you talk about that as a team, and then you just take 2 minutes to just close your eyes, take a breath, and you don't have to hold hands. We're not talking about that. But you're all just really feeling it and visualizing it and like getting to the core of what that will look and feel like for you and for the client and for your company. And that helps to just infuse an intention into the entire process so that every step of the way you have got, boom, we know what we're doing. We know what we're going after. Yeah, but this isn't the specific 32% increase. That's not what we're looking at. It's the feeling, because when you can feel as if something is already a reality, things start to magnetize, things start to happen. The world works in mysterious ways as to how things will start to mobilize in your favor in that situation. So team visualizations are really powerful. But then we don't want to take away from your personal, right? In situations, you want yourself to be successful. You want to make the money that you need to make. You want to close deals so that you get commission. You want to get bonuses. You want to get promotions. So I often do money manifestations on my own. You can do this as a team too, but I have a $1 billion bill that I bought for $3 at a consignment store. Look how ripped up it is, because I hold this thing and I do money manifestations with it before I need to close a deal, or I go into a negotiation, or even when I'm doing like my monthly QuickBooks, I'm like, okay, I need to magnetize money. I have the money I need. This is a closed deal. And again, it's talking as if, and you can close your eyes, and we'll do some of these later in the week, these manifestation type of things around money. We'll talk more about the specifics behind it. But you want to, again, say, not I will have money, I have money. This money is already mine. This deal is already closed. Our bottom line has been impacted by X%. Like, you act as if it's already happened going into a meeting, and that helps to mobilize also the money situation for yourself, because it is about you too. You want to be happy and get what you need out of any type of role that you're in as well. So that's another fun thing you can do. Let's see, crystal clear confidence. When you have crystal clear confidence, you can use crystals. That's why I called it Crystal Clear Confidence. Now, the thing about crystals, we'll talk about these more tomorrow, but they're not magic. Like, this isn't like, hey, magic wand, woohoo, things are perfect. There's science behind them. They have different crystal grids, microscopic crystalline grids within them. Geology is an entire branch of science. We're not going to talk about all of the nerdy stuff behind it, but know that there is science behind them. There is energy behind them. This has different matter than this. This is citrine, this is pyrite. They both activate confidence because they give you a visual and a physical sensation that remind you what you're wanting to do. So like if I have to go into a meeting and be really confident, I will use citrine because it activates that area below the rib cage. Yellow is a really powerful color, gold is a powerful color for activating confidence, and citrine is great for that as well. And you can infuse this with, I'm going to kill it at this meeting. And this little piece of citrine, boop, goes in your pocket, goes in your bag, goes in your computer case. And when you see it, when you feel it, when you just like are aware that it's there, it's like, yes, I got this, I got this. So it's just a gentle, subtle reminder that becomes really powerful because the more you're thinking about something, the more likely it is to happen. And I've given the example before of, if you say you're going to buy a car and you're like, I'm going to buy a white Toyota Camry. I've heard this example. I didn't make this example up. It's like proven through science. But if you say I'm going to buy a white Toyota Camry and you start doing research, pretty soon, everywhere you go, you'll start seeing white Toyota Camrys because your mind is filtering for that opportunity. So if you're like, yes, this thing is a reminder to me that I have got this, I'm super confident, I'm owning this meeting, every time you feel it, you see it, beforehand, during, or after, you're like, I got this. And your brain filters for that opportunity and gives you the reminder every time to say, yeah, I do have this. And it makes it a reality in your life because you start to see it more often and feel it more often. If you are into jewelry, you can wear jewelry that's made of different crystals. Pyrite is a good one for money manifestation. These two go together. So pyrite is a powerful money manifester. It's a big chunk of gold, basically. So it's a nice reminder for money. So crystals, there's thousands of types of crystals that can be used for different things, different colors, give you different reminders of different types of energy that you want to tap into. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. And related to color, you want to make the customer that you're presenting to feel certain ways. So if you want to build trust with a customer and make them feel warm feelings towards you, if you want them to really be able to see your vision, wear blue if you want them to see the bigger picture. Maybe early in the process, in an early meeting when you're just building the relationship, wear blue. You get further down the pipeline, you want them to have warm feelings for you, to like you personally. Wear green. You want to build some trust. You want to have them see you as a powerful, trustworthy leader. Wear red. You want to close that deal. You want to get the money. You want to make them feel like, yep, we're doing this. Orange. Not a lot of people wear orange, but if you're a guy, wear an orange tie. Wear some orange jewelry. I do happen to wear orange a lot. Purple is a super powerful color for seeing bigger picture. So color is a really powerful way to make the people around you feel and react and interact with you and your energy in a certain way as well. Okay, so there are hundreds of these other things that I could share with you. We don't have time to go all. We're already at almost a half hour. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. But I wanted to give you a good overview of how this woo-woo at work strategic thinking really can impact a specific scenario. So with Joe and a sales team, I just gave a bunch of ideas that they can use to help drive the success of those relationships and their sales relationships forward, and their relationships with each other, their impact on the bottom line, and their own internal self-worth and wellness and success as well. So that's just a quick, half-hour touch base on what goes into this. We could talk for hours about this. We could do a whole weekend retreat. So if you want to dig into some of this with your company, please reach out to me. You want to reach out, you want to do some of this for yourself, reach out to me. We can do one-on-ones, we can do team stuff. I can help overcome some of those hurdles we talked about yesterday. So just reach out to me, Kristen at KristenBrownPresents.com. Today's homework is simply to think about, yesterday I had you make a list of some of the biggest stresses and triggers that you face, that you or your team or company face in the workplace. Think about some of the applications of some of the things I shared with you today. I'll list them out in the post so that you can see I talked about the power of yoga pose, the clarity meditation, the crystal clear confidence. I'll list some of those out and then just do a reflection on how some of those might be able to apply to some of the biggest stresses that you face on your team, just to get your mind opening up a little bit, get you thinking differently about how these woo-woo at work concepts can work. Thank you so much, and I will see you tomorrow.